everybody, me, Nikki, and today I'm here with the books I read in November. It was only 3, but they're pretty chunky. So it was the first 3 of the Expanse novels. I'll hold them all up for you. Ta-da! And I will say, right off the bat, that even though they are pretty chunky, they do read quickly. Like, none of the chapters are too long and they don't drag, and pretty much from the beginning it's just go, 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 go. And it doesn't really slow down until nearing the end. That goes for all of them, really. And I would also say, don't read them all at once like I did. I am now going to read the other 5, I think, once a month, because a lot of bad shit happens pretty much in every book, and back to back to back, it's a bit draining. So that's my only thing. Otherwise, they're very good. So let's get started. I made some notes, like always. Little notebook. So first, Leviathan Wakes. And I don't know if I've said this before. I know I've said this out loud, like, to my mom. The first one is called Leviathan Wakes, and the 9th book is called Leviathan Ends. So, pretty sure that might be the last book in the series. So, without too many spoilers, all 3 of them, and probably the other 5, I'm pointing down, they're down here, have politics. I put that as a trigger because politics, especially nowadays, is infuriating, and it doesn't get much better in the future. So the first one, there is blood, guts, mild horror, body and otherwise. There's racism between what they call inners and outers. So Earthers and Mars are the inners, because those are the only 2 habitable planets. And then the outers are Belters, aka the asteroid belt, out. Because I believe they have, I think it's just the moons of Jupiter and a couple others. There's death. There's blood, 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 I said. Let's see. There is use of radioactive material and the reaction of said radioactive material upon people. Including 2 main characters. There's also zombies and bioweapon-y type of stuff. So that's like what to watch out for. I liked the use of language. It's like when you're mostly in the Belter part. So it's like a mixture of Spanish and maybe, I want to say, German. So that's pretty cool. And then when they talk about Mars, like, there's this weird part of Mars that was settled by Texans, Samoans, and, like, somebody else. So you have, like, a Samoan looking guy that talks like a Texan, and with, like, I think there were some Chinese and Indian people on Mars. So it's like this weird mix of languages and cultures, which is super, super cool. There's polyamory. There are lesbians, and, all that stuff is fine. There is corruption in police, so nothing changes there. And then, so your main story is, in this one there's two. There's Jem Holden, who is the XO of a ice miner, and then he becomes captain of him and three others due to unforeseen circumstances. And then there's Detective Miller, Josephus Miller, who is looking for a girl who's from a rich family. They have a Earth Corporation, and she has joined the outer planet revolutionaries. I was going to say Outer Alliance, but it is Outer Planet. Jupiter, that way. Because the outer planets think, and probably it's true, that basically Earth and Mars are so busy with each other, like they're at a stalemate, that they don't give a shit about the Belters and the Outers. It's probably true. And this girl, she knows stuff. And the people that want her found knows that she knows stuff. And they don't want her to tell anybody. And then Holden and Miller, so Holden's team, which is Amos, Naomi, and I want to say Alex, but it could be Alec. Which is, I've just read these 3 books and I don't even know. I think it's Alex. Meet up with Holden. And that's kind of when shit goes really bad for everybody involved. And, so Holden is an interesting character because he basically sees the world in black and white. And something happens to his big ship. And he puts out a transmit that says, this is what we found. It's a little thing from Mars. And I don't know if it's the way he says it or the way everybody takes it, but then everybody thinks Mars attacked this big ship, which is an Earth ship, I think. And then he does it again later, like, here's some shit, here's all the information, and everybody starts panicking. Like, he's just like, here, have information. And you're like, I understand, you want people to have information, but sometimes they shouldn't. So yeah, shit goes bad, and then it kind of gets better, and then it doesn't. So I don't want any spoilers, but they call it a parasite in this book, and that is the bioweapon thing that essentially kills people, and, the girls, well, not just the girl, but a bunch of companies, or, like, somebody found it, like, on an asteroid, and we're like, ooh, let's see what this can do. And guess what? It turned out not to be great. So they were like, yeah, we can make it into a weapon. A weapon you can't control, you son of a bitches. So it doesn't go well. And then there's one guy, you definitely want to die. He starts talking and you're like, shut up, you're such an asshole. So, yes. Also, Fred Johnson is the leader of the OP, the Outer Planet Revolutionaries. They have a name, but I can't remember what it is. And the OPA, Outer Planet Alliance, they think it's called. And there's a little short story about him that I desperately want, but it might be digital only. I don't want you, I guess you can just read that page. And he used to be an Earth, or I think an Earth Marine, and he went to a place, he's called the Butcher of Anderson Station. So he goes to Anderson Station, and butchery happens, and then he's like, nah, fuck this, and goes and does the OPA stuff. So he's like a terrifying legend. And he's a fucking badass, and I love him. I love him. So, and then, as for the TV show, book 1 is all of season 1 and half of season 2. Just so you know. Because I did look it up. So then, next is Caliban's War, and this takes place on Ganymede, a moon of Jupiter, and also in other places in space. There are creepy things. I say politics is another trigger again, and I have written italicize it. If I could italicize politics as the word coming out of my mouth, I would. This is very politic heavy. There's death of a child off screen, and this is about 1 year after book 1. And they're a little family of nerds, as I call them. There is scientific use of children. Did I say that? I don't remember. And this, we are introduced to 2 amazing female characters. The first one is Gunnery Sergeant Roberta Draper of the Martian Marine Corps. And she is in, okay. Do you remember the scene, I think it's Aliens, when Sigourney Weaver gets in that thing and knocks the alien around? It's something like that. It's like a Fallout suit of armor that you have to train. I'm chewing on a mint. I'm sorry for the crunching. You have to train for a long time just to be able to, like, wear it because it's so fucking heavy. And she is a tall Samoan woman, and she's a fucking badass in and out of the suit. And it's from her point of view that you first see this destruction on Ganymede. And she's the only one in her troop to live to tell the tale. So they ship her off to Earth. And she freaks out on Earth because she's from Mars. So, you know, gravity's different, and you can't, they're in domes, so they don't walk on the surface of Mars. And so there's a scene where she goes out onto Earth, and she has a panic attack, and the guard's like, yeah, it happens all the time, don't worry about it. So she's amazing. She's a badass. Put her in a battle suit, and she will fucking kick your ass. And then we're introduced to, oh gosh, where is she? I'll Google her. We are introduced to one of my newest favorite characters of all time. And it is Alex, by the way. I just looked that up. Christian Avasarala, who is played by Shohore Angdashlu, aka an amazing woman with an amazing voice. And Christian is the UN Deputy Undersecretary of Executive Administration, which I don't know what that means, but she's basically a badass. Like, they're having a meeting about what to do with Bobby and if they should attack Mars, because Earth thinks Mars thinks Earth started the fight, and Earth thinks Mars started the fight on Ganymede. And Ganymede was the like the breadbasket of space. Like, they had done all this stuff, and she just like eats fucking pistachios and goes no, and they all like are okay. She swears all the time. She's amazing. I love her. She's a badass. Like, they try to outmaneuver her, but she outmaneuvers them outmaneuvering her. It's just fantastic. She's not in book 3, but I think she's in book 4, and I cannot wait. She uses the C word at one point in the book, and I don't know if they're going to let her say it on the show, but she should, because, like, this guy is basically fucking her over. And, you know, she swears all the time, but then she just says the C word as she closes it, and you're like, that's what she's calling you. And it's just fantastic. And how Holden and the crew get involved is because a little girl named May is taken by scientists. And she has an immune disorder or an autoimmune thing. So they're trying to, like, use stuff to make them into super soldiers or something. I don't know. And so her dad, Prax, basically hires them, and they save her, so that's good. And then, of course, at the end, more bad shit happens. But, you know, it's some feel-good moments as well, and I do like it. I love this. This is... Bobby and Christian are amazing. And then, finally, we have Book 3, Abaddon's Gate. So, the titles are... Now that I've read it, they're sort of telling, like, Leviathan wakes. The Leviathan parasite-y thing wakes up. There's a war. Caliban is a star, I think. So, but there's a war. And then Abaddon is something else, but there's a gate. There is a gate involved in this. And this is 1 to 2 years, I think, after book 2. There are lesbians in this, obviously more politics. There are new characters. There is religion and religious talk. One of our main characters, not him. Nope, not them. No. Anna. She isn't preachy at all. She's fabulous. So you get a lot of new characters. There's Bull, who works with Fred Johnson and the OPA, and he's the security chief, basically. And so stuff has happened, and the parasite thingy has moved from where it was to somewhere else, and it's like formed a ring gate thing, and some stupid kid goes through it and doesn't come out the other side, and everybody's like, and he was like broadcasting it, and everybody's like, well, let's go check it out. And they do. And excuse me, Holden wants to go the opposite way, but suffice to say, he gets dragged that way, him and his crew. The solar system is breaking down, and all the ways they colonized it, like, it's just not sustainable anymore. There's a character who has denial and perhaps insanity. They use someone else to do bad things, and there's a lot of death, unfortunately. None of it on camera, but there is some death, and so Holden is the first to go through, and it's like a void space where everything is really slow, and the parasite thing has done something, and all the other ships come through because they're chasing after Holden, and shit gets real again, and it's just like, I don't know how they came up with it. It's such a good plot. And I can't tell you anything until you've read the other ones, so I'm like trying to be as vague as possible. And then when so stuff happens, and then they can go to like all these other places. But is it safe? Is it not safe? We don't know. That's what the next book is about. Probably not going to be safe, because it never is. It never is. So yeah, those were the first 3 books of The Expanse. I have given them all 5 stars because they are fantastic. The writing's great. The characters are great. Because I know that there are more books, I figure the main 4, Holden, Amos, Alex, and Naomi, won't die, but everybody else is up for grabs, and it's just a lovely, wonderful universe, and I'm so glad I found it. I would recommend you checking it out if you like sci-fi. But beware the politics. But, Abaddon's Gate doesn't have as much politics, but there's like a really big ship where basically everybody just goes onto because it's safer, and a lot of politicky drama type stuff happens, and you're like, oh god, I hate this captain. So it's a whole thing. But yes, read them, watch the TV show, let me know how the TV show goes. Those are different notes, you can't know those. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you're having a lovely December. I hope your holidays go as well as they can. Just be safe, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.